Voice chat knows. What stock is that? Do not search the group. Welcome to Read the Room 2.0 with Unc. What is up, everybody? It's Unc coming at you with Read the Rooms 2.0 short edition EDU sessions. That's where we're going to start. These are going to be 5 to 10 minutes long. Hey, man, let's just get to work here. So I'm going to dissect my studies basically one by one. Load mini weekly. And today we're going to start with volume profile studies. So, when normally I have all these studies, I'm just going to break these down to you one at a time. Today we're just going to do volume profile, and I'm going to show you how I use that on multiple time frames. So volume profile, tick size, 1 tick per bar. So basically that's showing me how it's going to populate over here. It's going to give me the chart also, and then it's going to show me 70 to 20 in the occupancy. You can make this a little more bar-y like, so it looks more like this down here. I just don't like it. I like the peaks and the valleys. 70% is this occupancy area, so most of the shares are 70% of the shares are going to be in this zone right here. SPY's not really fair. Let's go something. Let's go XYZ. Let's do block real quick. Something fun. I should have asked people for random. Yeah, so a little better there. So 70% of the shares on block over a 10-year period are traded basically from 100 to, I don't know, 33 bucks, whatever. Volume profile is real thick. 10 years, the biggest shelf as you can see. So are we on the 10-year here? Yeah, we are. The biggest, oh, it's just zoomed in, sorry. The biggest share distribution on this whole entire chart is right in here. You can see it. Let's zoom in. Bam. It's probably from about 60 bucks. That's the level I picked not recently. It's about 84 bucks. That's a level I picked not recently. You could probably start paying attention to 75 a little more too. A little I'm not going to say any bad jokes here. I want this to be usable in the future. But you can see that little point stick out inside the box. And then this big historical one. You can also bust, I probably should just stay over here. You can also bust this down to smaller time frames. 1 year day. See how that changed? Oh, look, volume profile in the last year is more closer to 80 bucks. So the most shares in the last year were traded around 80 bucks. Still have a pretty good floor at 60. It's almost matches our 70% or just perfectly. Kind of a little gappy. Anything below this price is looking like a good deal. That'd be your ad channel here currently. Don't want to get too much into that. I don't know if this is a current swing or not. But you see that I call it that's reverse C right here, back into that gap to 80 bucks. So it's probably closer to fair value in the last year. One more time frame, just because we want to get not necessarily a stress test, but just see if we get different results. And you can see on 3 year kind of look more like the 3 year looks a lot like the 10 year. Yeah, I'll show you. Yeah, except for the 10 year has this in it right here, which first time ever price discovery, probably got overextended, but definitely shows the range of the stock in a bullish environment. So volume profile, good to use on the 10, the 3, and the 1 year. I do have it if we go like to a 10-minute daily 5-day 5-minute chart. I do have it, but I don't really use these levels as much. You'll never hear me say volume profile on the 5-minute chart. It's or the 1 year 20-day, which is a month time frame. I probably won't give this level also. Sticking to the 1, the 3, and the 10 year are my preferences when I come to historical volume P. So these levels really don't change much unless you get to, let's say, something with more or excuse me, something with less history instead of more history. A recent example is Sphere for me. Sphere kind of camped out. God, now I'm all messed up. Hold on, 10-year weekly. Sphere kind of camped out down here at this 40 level for quite some time, and then again we have the price discovery. But this is going to look the same on the 10, on the 3, and probably on the 1 year very similar, because it just doesn't have, well, 1 year is a little more choppy, because it just doesn't have as much history as we had with SPY or Square. So the conclusion here, volume profile, multiple time frame volume profile, especially is used to pick out historical levels. Doing that, taking into consideration of the multiple time frames and the consistencies in those levels. As you can see here on a Home Depot, when we put this line up, we were looking for that big historical support and resistance flip. If it's going to continue into a new price range or retrace the price range, it should hold this level as we basically do price discovery in that range. And as you can see, we probably tested that 2 or 3 times now, trying to figure out the current price of Home Depot. These are a lot better, I guess, in real time or real time updated. But as you can see here, even with Mara, when we broke down, the 10 to 17 was established way before the breakdown. Professor getting back on it, we put that Professor purple line here. Like, this has really got to hold if we are going to be able to work our way back out of the zone, and we've done that a few times since then. 3, 4, 5x easy from that initial read. And this will reset, but seeing the new level, the 1616 is where 10-year volume P settled at 1702. If I could be perfect, that would be great. But being close, being in the same ballpark is what you would like to see on volume profile and picking out those historical levels. So get something a little more current or active. So as a placer building and setting up or working through the zone, it's good to look at them both through the lens of the 10-year to see where it actually is building, and then the 3 and the 1 year, just to get a little snapshot shorter. Good example of the bottom being the actual bottom on the last 3 years, and a lot of consolidation in the zone that we have picked out. And then go to the 1 year, and you can see that floor over the 1 year hasn't been tested. Good consolidation again, give you probably a more realistic pivot or level. Pivot is what we would call this currently, this 1 year, $6 on next. But yeah, good examples of some historical charts that we've had success through it, and here's one currently that we are following through the volume profile. But you kind of just let it lead the way. Slow moving indicator also. A week is not going to show up on the weekly. A good month will show up on the weekly, or a good news event that does venture into price discovery will show up on the weekly, kind of like this did here. This is this. Those two. Yeah, that's that. And you can kind of compare them to the historical shares traded. Bag holders can't hide. If you need a one line, we know where they are. All right, one down, a million to go, right? Hopefully some good questions come out of that. Yeah, but that's volume profile. You should be using it, especially if you're drawing lines on your chart. Man, how do we end this again? Oh yeah, respect the lines, and most importantly, read the room.